What's up, gang? It's Mike, and today Jason had asked what my top five tools are that I use in Illustrator, and it's hard to answer this question because there's so many things that I do, and I decided that instead of tools, really show just techniques that I use that have been really useful. And I thought of six really quickly, and then as I was writing this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's a bunch of other things I can do. But let me start with this just so it doesn't overload you and kind of show you what I mean. So first thing really is the quick keys and short keys. People call them, or people call them short keys. I say quick keys. This is just what letters on the keyboard get tools fast. And that is the biggest takeaway that any of you should take from working in programs. And whatever program it is, even if it's Word or if it's, if you have Google Mail, there's such fast ways to do stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just going to save you so much time instead of going up and saying like, oh, I need to close my file, I need to save it, I need to place something. And just learning these and, so that like prime example, let's say I was going to use a tool. Let's say I was going to use the blend tool, right? And I rarely use it. First thing I'm going to do is just see that there's a W right there. So I know that I'm here. I now have the W. Now it's like, okay, I got to figure out how to use it. So I think in this case, I would say, well, I know that I use that is if I have a box and if I have another box here, there we go. And I believe if I have the two of these and hit W, I click them, yeah, so that'll blend them like that. And then from there you can go to object expand and it becomes an object, which is kind of cool, or a bunch of objects, which is neat. So that's one thing. But yeah, you kind of get half point. But quick keys, I mean, so the top quick keys I have are V for the selection tool, A for the direct select tool, P for the pen tool, T for the text tool, M for the shape or the rectangle tool, and you have to like hold it down to get other options. Another thing too is if I'm down here, I hit M, I can draw a box, or if I hit L, I know that I can draw a circle, and that's like super fast. Also, if I hit M and just click, I can choose the size of what I want it to be, which is really helpful. And same thing with L. I could do that, and it's gonna just make it the same size. Um, Another cool thing, actually, if you don't know about it, if you hit A, you can change the corners, the radius, and things like that with these things. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, so quick keys are number one. There's like those couple that I mentioned are the top ones I do. Also, if you use the line tool, which is right below L, I don't know what that's called, but you can get this really quickly. It's the line. And for me to change colors and things, I just know to hit X. It'll go between the foreground and the stroke, or the fill and the stroke, which is really helpful. And yeah, and also change the stroke. Okay, that's that. Actions panel. Actions panel is really helpful, which a lot of people I don't think really use it, but you can record certain things to do that you know that you do all the time. For me, deleting a layer I do all the time, and releasing a layer is something I do all the time because let's say that I have, let's say I have a character, right? And I'm gonna draw the body. I'm gonna say like, here's the body. This is an awful looking character. And I got these arms. Yay, is my character. And I've got the face. And I'm just dragging. And also, another quick thing is if I hold Option down and I drag, that's what's going to make a duplicate. So let's say I have this character. Now, if I need to bring this guy into After Effects, I need to break him up into different pieces. Now, I could select it, or I can hit Command A. That'll select all, another short key or quick key. And if I go up to the panel here and hit Release to Sequence, that will separate all of these layers into sub layers because right now they're just like groups and things like that, like shapes. But I know I use it all the time, so I created an action, and I'll show you how I did it. So I'm going to delete you. Okay, so what I did is I hit the layer thing, and I hit release to layers is what I named it, and set one, and I just don't touch that. Decline. Okay, and I gonna make it into a function. So I know that I just can hit F1 and it'll make that happen. I don't need to give it a color. I don't care about that. But sometimes if F1 is used, it'll automatically say it's gonna be Shift F1. Now I'm gonna record it, and actually I'm not gonna record it yet because I want to. Actually, yeah, I have them all selected. Okay. Let's do this again. So here, release to layers and hit F1, hit record. Now everything I'm doing is going to record it. So I want to have this thing selected first because it's going to add that to my action if I don't do that. So all I want to do is just, I want to have it released to layers. I want it to be done. So I go up here, hit release to layers sequence. It records that and I hit stop. And that's it. And what it does is it takes all of these and makes them to these layers. Now I have to go in here and name them, and then I have to take them outside of that layer to make it to bring it into After Effects. And then I have this other action set up for delete because I know that when I do that, this is an empty layer and I don't want it. So if I hit F2, it'll delete it. So let's try that again. If I take all these guys, cut them, and then let me see, I get rid of these. So I hit F2, deletes all those layers. And Command L, by the way, which was another one I was going to get to, which is like the fifth one down, that creates a new layer. And if I paste in front, which is Command F, I can now, if I hit F1, it will separate these all into layers. So that's how you do that. Okay, let me get rid of these guys. So F2. Okay, so there's the next one, lock and release. Lock and release is a big one. Let's say that so I hit Command L, I have a new layer, I hit M, and I've got this box here, and then I have another box on top of it, which is purple. Now I just want to move, like say, I don't know, say I've got like a bunch of these. Let's say, do these guys, hit R, and then duplicate this by doing that and hit Command D a bunch of times. So say I have like all these things, and I want to be able to control this, but all of these purple boxes are in my way. What I can do, or say I wanted to just do the purple boxes, not the green, I can click on the green and lock it, which is Command 2, and now this is locked. And if I open up this layer, I believe, yeah, it'll just add a lock on there, and I can just click it, unclick it there, and it's unlocked. But if I hit Command 2, it'll lock that layer. Now I can just grab all these guys. I could just select all, and it's not going to select that one, and I can move it, and I can group it with Command G. So let's say that now I want to unlock this. So instead of clicking this and unlocking that, I could just hit Option Command 2 and that unlocks it. That's something I literally use every 10 seconds when I'm designing in Illustrator, doing anything in Illustrator. That takes away so much, saves you so much time. Now, say another thing is that let's say I wanted to hide it, it's Command 3. That I use a lot, and that's all it's doing is just turning off the eye on it. It's still there, but that becomes really handy when you're doing a bunch of stuff. And if I hit Option Command 3, it'll bring it back. So those are really, really good functions to know. Okay. Hide, I already just went over that, which is Command 3. So we go back, short keys are just like the quick keys to get things. So if I hit A, it'll get the select tool. If I hit P, it'll give me the pen. T is the text tool. M is the shape tool. C is the scissor tool. Let's see if I know these. G is the gradient. I is the eye picker. B is the brush. Yeah, all this other stuff I don't ever need. Z is for zoom, so you can zoom in and you can hold down. You can hold Option and zoom out, or just hit Command minus sign. Let's see, hide, Command L, we just did. That's me make a new layer. It'll make a new layer up here, you can see. And then multi-exporter is a really awesome freaking tool. It's a script. Now, scripts I just got into not too long ago, and they are huge time savers if you use the right ones. So multi-exporter was really helpful because when I'm showing a storyboard to a client, I can, let's see, clients, let's go to, not these guys. SG, content snare, nope, Costello, what can I go to? SDN, all right. So these guys, when I had their storyboard, if I go to AI, do their storyboard. So now they have, their storyboard is all of these layers, and this is showing the client what this thing's gonna look like. Now, what I used to have to do was literally go and do Save for Web, which is Shift Option Command S, and then I'd have to save this out, and it was just really time consuming. But now with multi-exporter, I can, let me get rid of this. Yeah, I don't want you. Okay, I can go up here and do File, Scripts, Multi-Exporter, And this thing is amazing. I can just hit current artboard. I could just keep that where it is. I could choose where it's going to go. So let's say that desktop test, hit OK. And I want to make sure that it's JPEG. Trim edges I don't want. I want to ignore warnings because sometimes just random things happens. Like, do you care about this? And then I hit export. Now this will just sit here and export all of these files, which is like, I don't know, maybe it'll take 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I don't even know what it is. We're still waiting. I got like half a second left. And when that's done, now I can go to where that folder is and hit test, and there's all my JPEGs, and it's all there. Now I bring these into Acrobat, and I will make it into a PDF. Now, here's one thing about the only bad thing is that it's going to number it. So let's say that this, for some reason, said 52. It would push that, it would name that 52 and throw it up here. So you got to go through and just make sure that it's still falling in line of what exactly you needed it to be. And if if it is fine, I have this thing called Name Changer, which is free. And if I grab all these guys, I bring them into here, and I do, let's see, sequence, and I'll do sequence name will be SDN. That was the client, and hit minus. So now you can see that all of these are changing to this new file name, and I would do 3 of these, and I'd start it at 1, not 2. And you can change the name to this. Or if you are fine with all the numbering, you can just do append, and it'll say, what do you want to be? Like um, SDN. And I'll just put it at the end. If you do prepend, it'll put it in the beginning. So if that was the case, you could just do this in there, and there you go. It's all set. You can change the case. There's all of these really cool things you can do. So I'm just gonna clear this out and cut out of that. So that was a little bit extra there. But yeah. Oh, another thing too, now that I'm thinking about it, is if I hit Command tilde, which is below escape, it will bring me between my artboards, or not my artboards, my projects. And if I hit Tab, it'll hide and show all of my panels. And yeah, and I'd say one more thing is once I know that I have my screen set up the way I want it to, I go to Window, Workspace, and see Doyle 2018. But I could just do new workspace and name it that, and it'll keep my panels exactly how I want it. A lot thrown at you there. Try to keep it semi-focused, but there are so many other things I can talk about. But yeah, know your short keys. Action panel, just if you have constant things you're doing over and over, always set actions up. Lock and release is just going to save you so much time hiding and hiding things. Command 3, locking is Command 2. Option Command 2 will unlock it. You see, even I had the background there. So that's a perfect example. I have this on the front. So if I was like, oh, I want to move everything around. Oh, this background's annoying. I could just hit Command 2, and now I don't need to worry about it. And Option Command 3. I'm sorry. Option Command 3 will unhide it. Command L will give me a new layer, and then multi-exporter is a script. Now this is a script you have to go and get from, I believe it's AE scripts. Let me see, AE scripts. Yeah, I think you can get it from here. Multi-exporter. I don't know if that's spelled right. Multi. Nope, it's not spelled right. Multi-exporter. Okay, well, it's somewhere in here. Yeah, and you can buy it. And then some of these scripts are great because you can just spend whatever you want to spend. Sometimes they're set rate, but they're just like pay what you want. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully that was helpful.